clearer now on what we promised about the rain. We're expecting that torrential rain from that system in the Gulf, and there could be the chance we could see some flooding here in Southwest Florida. This is not what you want to hear if you're living in one of the areas that was hit so hard by last year's flooding. For In Your Corner is Carl Fortier finding out what's being done to avoid a repeat of those flooded neighborhoods this weekend. Carl?
Well, most of the flooding we saw last year came on the tail end of what was already a very long and wet rainy season, so the ground was already waterlogged, and that was a big factor that slowed drainage. Well, that's not the case this weekend, but communities are still doing what they can to make sure the water we do get drains as fast as possible.
Yeah, last year it was raining for a month. The ground was completely saturated, then we had big rains.
This is what it looked like in August inside the reserve at Estero gated community. 15 inches of rain in 5 days turned these homes into waterfront property, but not the kind Patrick Kelly and his neighbors wanted.
The lack of drainage is what we had.
A lot of them got scared because of what happened last year, so it's really brought stormwater up to the front of people's minds.
Estero's Public Works Director David Willem says no one wants a repeat of that, so they've had a series of talks with communities like the reserve on how they can alleviate any flooding.
Making sure the debris gets removed from inlets, drainage structures, make sure their outfalls are clean.
With torrential rain expected this weekend, a Lee County spokeswoman says the county has also had crews working to clear debris from swales and ditches so water can drain faster. Sustained flooding was also a problem in parts of Bonita Springs and the Island Park area in South Fort Myers in August, where water got inside homes and caused a lot of damage and headaches. But Willem says that wasn't until after a long and wet rainy season, and the ground was already saturated, so he thinks any standing water from this weekend's downpours shouldn't stay around too long.
And just 2 weeks ago, we were worried about how dry it was. So the water levels are much lower than what they were in August of last year.
As long as it doesn't get into people's houses, we're going to be okay.
Now, one of the biggest impacts from this weekend's rains is expected to be on the roads, and you're urged not to drive in dangerous conditions, especially not through any flooded roads. Now, in case any flooding does threaten homes, Florida Fish and Wildlife has staged its high water vehicles in areas where it could flood in case they need to rescue anyone from those flooded neighborhoods. In Estero, Carl Fortier, Fox 4, In Your Corner.